and you don't have to read the full thing, but this is someone that has a channel. Let's read his channel's name. Let's read the titles of his videos at his channel. Let's let people know how they can be his fan. If they're of the neo-Nazi criminal mindset, stalker, hater type that likes my channel, well, hell, you're going to love this dude. And apparently he doesn't seem to show his face, so I don't really see his beautiful, Aryan, blue-eyed face. All I see is this Trump, Israel, Israel, Trump, Israel, Trump, Trump, Israel. And then he left this long-winded, like, Yahweh doesn't like you. Your mother fucked up. And do you have it up yet?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. I think this was the guy who was talking about Israel a lot.
And so name the video, name the date, let people know how they can find it, and I'm going to leave it there so they can read it. And the reason I'm leaving it is not for people's like, oh, Alex, you need someone to feel sorry for you. And that's not, no. I'm actually over it. I actually am feeling a lot better. I want people to know that this guy really did our job for us, don't you think? Even though he thinks in the way he's writing it, he thinks he's right, but we see that he's like psycho.
Yeah, I believe this
and so he's articulating what I think many other people believe. I was already talking to you about the Mormonism and this line of Cain thing, and I said to you on these podcasts that very few people comment on because whether they're supporters or haters, I think it's too intense, dude. It's like this is some really heavy shit for the audience.
I believe this was gr8paint.com, I think it is.
Right, and he has an actual YouTube channel, believe it or not. He's not like a total anonymous coward. He is in the sense as we don't know who his name is. And we don't know if he may have a website, but we know that he has 3,000, 4,000 subscribers. And so because he's intelligent enough to upload videos and he put together thoughts in a way as you're going to read, he at least detailed what other people think about me but haven't necessarily taken the time to write. And that doesn't mean all white people. It means people that have been really brainwashed by some of these religions. And as we hear him say Yahweh, and as he types it out, and he spells it a very specific way, if you noticed, it's almost like that's code because I've seen other people troll me that type Yahweh out like him. And I'm just wondering, is this some type of I'm thinking of something. What is the name of that book? Have you seen Conspiracy Theory with Mel Gibson?
Yes.
Catcher in the Rye. Catcher in the Rye. So there's this thing where he has to keep buying Catcher in the Rye. Sometimes I wonder if these are MK Ultra type people that have had their minds scrambled by the Archons specifically, not by the government, but that are literally like possessed. And they're screaming about Yahweh and they're typing out Yahweh with a certain amount of letters. And it doesn't look like the other way that I've seen Yahweh spelled by maybe what we would call real religious people, even if we don't like their religion. Right. Genuine religious people usually don't go foaming at the mouth, acting like they're having a seizure, going white genocide, line of Cain. Generally not. And so whatever these people are doing in the YouTube comment section, they seem to be like having a fit, is what I'm getting at. And my question is Yahweh that they're worshiping an Archon?
Well, let's see. This was, I think, 2 days ago or thereabouts. And this is a little bit of a longer paragraph, so just sit tight with me, folks. We'll get through it. He said, this is gr8paint.com, said, quote, "You are in a Jew-dominated society. Alex Jones is a confessed Jew. All of Trump's children married Jews. More Jews sit on the Supreme Court than any other. Jews are not white. The House of Israel is not the same as the House of Judea. The Jews have been conspiring white genocide against true Israel from the beginning of time. The book of Revelation says in the end, the evil one will be out against the seed of Israel, those who obey the commandments and bear testimony to Jesus. This is why they are poisoning the food, putting chemicals in the air, water, and mercury in the vaccines. Nobody is scared of you. You must understand that multiculturalism is nothing more than the Tower of Babel, which YHWH, I think that's Yahweh, YHWH tore down and then separated.
What I'm saying is he's abbreviating it and spell it out because it's like it's code. He doesn't like just spell out Yahweh. They do an abbreviation. I'm wondering, like, is that like a certain sect? And I'm just throwing this out to the audience of those that are brainwashed. I know it sounds crazy, and maybe it is, but they're not even really spelling out Yahweh. So are they afraid to use the Lord's name in vain? by attacking me in the name of Yahweh. So they misspell it on purpose. Speculation over. Back to Kyle Rearden.
YHWH tore down and then separated the languages and created borders. Any one race can interbreed, however the God of the Holy Bible commands Israel to not intermarry with other nations. Nation means race. It says this because the women will lead the men and their children away from the commandments in the Bible. Yes, the Jews hate the Muslims too. They profit and control the world through getting us all to intermix, then through communism and democracy. They get us all to fight each other because tribes, nations, and tongues are not meant to dwell with each other.
Right, and this person's not fighting with me at all, or saying, I'll just go ahead.
We have different beliefs, values, and morals concerning who God is and what He commands of us. Your pain does not come from your audience. It comes from your German mother hooking up with an Afghan man. Wow. The Bible calls that adultery. And if your mother would have obeyed YHWH and kept her bloodline pure, you would not have this identity issue. The issue is not to change your audience's view, but to change the view of multiculturalism as being okay and not a form of abuse towards the offspring which resulted from a sexual sin that was first initiated in the Garden of Eden. How Cain was manifested. That doesn't even make any sense. This is biblical exegesis, and the truth of the matter is that this is not a race issue or racism. He just contradicted himself, by the way. This is a faith in the God of the Holy Bible, interpreting what Scripture actually says and applying it to real life. There is nothing supreme about wanting my own children and grandchildren to look like me and know the truth, that they are a seed line of generations of families whom the Creator calls His people Israel. Revelation chapter 2, verse 9.
Like, there's something wrong with you children to get the same time with, not fucking with other people on the internet. And telling them they're like from the line of Cain because you have time on your hands or your boss isn't looking while you're at work at the bank. I actually one time had a hater that worked at a credit card company up in the towers. So just to let you know, some of these people are actually trolls at times. People that actually have professions where they fuck off at work and they're online.
Let's see, just finishing up here. There are Jews that say they are Jews but do lie. Those who form the church of Satan. Satan has been out to rid the earth of the bloodline God chose to spread the glory of His name to the ends to the earth, to the ends to the earth. I think he meant to say to the ends of the earth. He can't spell check. So that few may be saved. If you want the truth, that is it. I am sorry that you are suffering from the sin of your parents. It puts you in a weird situation, and so do all of us.
Well, he's basically also saying I have no soul. That's what I'm reading from this, although he doesn't say that. Because if he realized that his soul, that's all that matters. And that he obviously is a subscriber. So there's not a large amount of people that think like this, but see, because I have other videos that pull people in that are of this ideology, they find me and they've been like a subscriber for like a week or two. Till I make a video that pisses them off so much that after they troll me, they eventually have to go away because there's too much spiritual commentary that actually is in relation to the true creator, in my opinion. Why are they abbreviating Yahweh? So where does he conclude?
Let's see. But instead of pointing out that multiculturalism is the problem here, yet the liberal left, parentheses, satanic, gay, pedo Jews, wow, that's a mouthful, would have you believe us true Israelites are the immoral ones for wanting to preserve our own race, religion, and bloodline. The Bible is written to Israel about Israel and gives specific commands to Israel. Yeah, who gives a shit, dude? The argument is about a belief in the Bible as it being true, saying what it means and meaning what it says, whenever it's not contradicting itself. I know you read the Bible, but you have a different kind of faith. It is not faith in the Holy God of Israel. Wait, what? Y-A-H...
I don't worship archons. See, he's picking up that's what I'm assuming. And for those that don't know what archon means, it just simply means ruler in Gnostic literature. But they are believed to be very similar to demons in a way. Yeah, I'll let you bring up see if he has a voice. We know he doesn't seem to have a face, but we'll double check with his video list. We'll see if he has a voice.
All right, just to finish this up then. It is not faith in the Holy God of Israel, Yahuah. I think that's Yahweh, and then he puts in parentheses in all caps YHWH. Last
It's
sentence.
abbreviating Yahweh because he refuses to spell it out.
But actually, he did spell it out. But then he did spell it out, though. He said he spelled it out right before the parentheses YAHUAH. So he's doing both now. Yeah, like he's changed up his MO.
Okay.
Last sentence says, if your faith was in accordance with what the Holy Scripture says, you would do your own research and spread the word that race mixing is child abuse. Close quote. Wow, this guy's got issues. Like, seriously, like he might...
So, click on any of his videos. Does he have a voice?
Okay, I'm working on it now. The guy actually does not narrate his own videos. He actually uses a computer voice.
Okay, that's the answer that we want, and that's what I was guessing. So, the person attacking me as... Because I kind of need to conclude and get home. This was a great podcast, but in concluding thoughts. So the person that wrote everything that we just went over doesn't even have confidence in his own voice and his own face. And the reason I brought up, people earlier telling me, Alex, you need to be less, assumptuous that people think you're ugly, because we actually don't think that. People have pulled me aside throughout my life and told me, like, you need to get over certain self-image issues.
Well, that's rude of them.
I've never heard anybody say what you just said in response to that. So in a way, I appreciate that. A lot of people have just supported them. What I'm trying to say is they are trying to help, but they also are minimizing how some people have judged. Yeah. A lot of those Portlanders would say that to minimize the shit I've been through. I think the point is, because I want to conclude because I need to get home.
Mm-hmm.
This person almost seems jealous of me and my content and my looks, and the others do as well, and I'm not going to hide it, and my abilities and my knowledge. They seem jealous of what I have. And I've never been a guy to say, hey, I'm more handsome than you, or this, that, and the other, but inferior, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. I do think that women do succumb to peer pressure. So if the mass media thing is going to say that Middle Easterns are terrorists and these people, blah, 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 well, if they're talking about them raping them, it's maybe we'll attract the kinky ones that maybe do have rape fantasies. Sad but true. On the other level, they're going to stay away because they're not going to want to be judged, their friend and family, for being with someone that looks like that. And so the truth is, a lot of these people are running around acting like the Muslims are getting all the chicks, and the Zionists are making mixed-race babies and propagandizing. It doesn't mean that all the women are like that. People have actual relationship issues, which we detailed in the previous podcast, and that really has little to do with this fallacy that the chicks are going Muslim. It's not a new thing for white women to be with darker men. It certainly isn't a new thing for white men to be with darker women, but that's not considered a stigma. I don't see people freak out when the white dude, no one's calling the white male. This is really about the white female. As the man is attacking my mother, as you noted, not my father.
Yeah, he was emphasizing. Well, yeah, he initially started by going after both your parents, and then he switched it up to your mom. Yeah, I noticed that.
And the reason this is painful, and I started to make a video about it today, but I stopped it. I've been isolated from both sides of my family, and I believe that my combination of genetics made me super independent to the point where it made my parents very angry that I did not bow down or succumb to their flavors of programming. It created a huge rift between us that I was born with this level of an independent mind. It was incredibly confrontational. And so this independent mind that I have didn't do very well in school for a while, which happened to be an obsession, ironically, of both the Aryan mother and the Afghan father. Two levels that I would consider to be unhealthy when parents project this type of you must expect them to excel in school in 1996. A kid like that is not going to excel. 6 high schools in a single calendar year. And so, I developed a very independent mind from a very early age. saw myself as even my own parent. My own teacher. I got into martial arts, and I was teaching myself martial arts based on books and stuff that I was remembering. And I was meditating at the age of 14 years old during traumatic periods. Or 16, my dad was physically threatening to me. And I grew up to be a person, not have these quote-unquote dispositions to rape, invade, or homeland to another country. You know what's out there. They're there. But they seem to center on sexual assault. They seem to center on having lots of babies, no babies. Actually have nothing but prayer for no children for the rest of my life and for no accidents to take place. That is not something a man of my income is wanting to do. So, I mean, there are so many genetic dispositions that you would think that I would have inherited from this father. And it seems that all there is an appreciation for, maybe meat and like peaches and like food that may be attributed to that part of the world, right? If I got everybody's attention so far. But I think there's plenty of you that like meat and peaches too.
Yeah,
right?
I do.
Okay,
yeah.
I don't think that's just an Afghani thing. So, I mean, how many predispositions are really actually there other than physical life expectancy, height, penis, chest? I'm sorry, I'm painting the picture too deeply now. But, I mean, there's certain genetic, and I see my uncle and my grandfather's skull in my face. Aspects of my bone structure is that of the white side. More so than the Afghani. That's why some people don't recognize me to be mixed. And they're like, Alex, you don't look Muslim. Not realizing Muslim is a religion. Islam is a religion.
Yeah.
It's not an appearance. So even when someone says, Alex, you don't look Muslim, I mean, audience members of this very YouTube channel, and that's why we talk about this, are really in the dark about basic terms and differences between Muslim and Middle Eastern youth. And they're, I think my audience is a little bit better. The Alex Jones audience, they don't use terms like Middle Eastern. It's just raghead Muslim. And see, that's what makes Alex Jones a high-tech digital white supremacist movement with where he's taken InfoWars and with his own political purge of those employees that don't think like him. Oh, by the way, there's a great article about Kurt Nimmo, former editor for InfoWars.
Really?
And basically they are talking about this former Alex Jones employee who cannot speak as a confidentiality agreement. Kurt Nimmo, anotherdayin.the empire.com. So this man who's older, right? People can find out the story on their own, but he didn't want to get on board the Trump train. And he's openly calling Alex Jones a race baiter. And this is straight from a former Alex Jones employee. But he can't just sit there and do an inside edition X-Day on the real Alex Jones because Alex Jones would sue him. But what little we were able to get out, the media, whether we like him or not, media matters. There are some good things that they're documenting regarding Alex Jones, who actually said he would die for Donald Trump. So we talked about that. They're blending if you don't like Donald Trump, you're with the Islamists. It's time for civil war. And I think more people than ever are turning against Alex. He's at record levels, and he doesn't care because Alex is supposed to sabotage his own platform. That is what I see him doing. He's not acting in a way to make him more appealable to America. He's doing everything possible to marginalize himself and his followers as the most hateful people of our century since the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
That's my perception since the civil rights movement.
Yeah, I'd say that the guy basically is deliberately trying to shoot himself in the foot by being a clown. And heck, I mean, actually, on that point, I remember when there was the Obama Joker contest many years ago, and he literally put on the makeup, right? He put on the makeup, and he was shouting and trying to laugh like the Joker and so forth. And it was all supposed to be like a culture jamming thing, but I don't know, maybe there was a little bit more to it. Now all these years later have gone by, and apparently too.
We got a new comment on the flag burner video. Put lighter fluid on the flag. It'll burn faster.
Well, actually, a lot of them are made out of polyester, but yeah. It's just kind of fascinating to kind of watch this roll out in real time. So, yeah, man, I mean, unfortunately, the alt-right has made it a racial thing when it didn't have to be. But they're not limiting themselves to that. They're also unjustly profiling people who may not necessarily agree with them about the necessity for even having a government in the first place, for instance. So it's interesting that they have, I guess you could say, they're class enemies, because at the end of the day, I think that's kind of what's going on here, at least in some sense, right? You basically have a lot of white trash who are worshiping a billionaire plutocratic New Yorker who wants to muscle his way into Texas and put a wall on the border in violation of the 10th Amendment. White trash are supporting this. Yeah, and there's that too. So a bunch of white trash are supporting this plutocrat, and that is just what it is.